So I have a commercial shoot coming up. So I'm set up for the commercial shoot because I have to do test shoots and test shots, before the shoot itself to make sure everything is right and, we get everything right from the start. But I have a shoot in between there, which is just a casual shoot. So I want to show you what you can do with lights, set up like this. This is, your typical light setup. Let me just show you really quick. So I have a fill up here and a main here. So, that's it. And these are two, the Godox 1000 watt units. Now the mistake people make, let me just put this back. The mistake most people make is just because they have the power, they think they have to use it. And, if I keep this set up for the commercial shoot, for casual shoot, like for the commercial shoot, I need to show everything. I need to have clean lines. I need to have clean lighting and be able to see every inch of that material. Like, if they want to zoom in on a button, they can zoom in on a button. That's not the ideal lighting for anything artistic, if you will. Shadows are the greatest thing in a photo you can have. The right place shadows make a photograph. For clothing, it's quite the opposite. It's just they want to see the clothing. Unless it's a company that likes the artistic shots, and I shoot for a lot of those as well. But getting back to this. So, I have this one, the big one set at 1/2 power, and I have this one set at 1/4 power for the shoot that I'm doing. So this gives me just a little bit extra light on this side and a little bit of shadow, but not enough to anger the company I'll be shooting for, if you will. So today, I'm going to take this main light down to a 16th power, and I may even go down to 64th power. And I'm going to keep this one as the higher, the main as the higher for the main light to provide the shadow. This is just going to soften the shadow to the extent that I want to see it. So if it's too harsh, because 1,000 watt second light, everybody wants to use that power, but you can get some major shadow on this side and use this as a fill rather than a board, a whiteboard or a fill card or whatever you want to call it. Anyway, so that's what we're going to do today, and show you that shadows are your friends. So no matter what, like this is a 2-light setup. There's nothing else. It's plain and simple. They're 2 umbrellas with diffusers on them. That's it. It's really, really inexpensive, and beyond inexpensive because literally these 1,000 watt second lights, I said in my one video, I got these on sale for $250. I mean, that's ridiculously cheap. So this whole pro studio setup is the 2 lights, which is $500. The umbrellas you can get for probably $65 for the 2 of them, believe it or not the name brand ones, but the generic ones and the diffusers. Let's say $100. It's $600 worth of lighting, and it's cheap. That's all I can say. It's very, very inexpensive for the power that these things put out and can produce. But anyway, let's get to the shoot. We'll go through some different types of lighting, and I'm not going to change it up too much, but I'm going to change the power to change the shadows and change the look. I may move this one back and forth or angle it or whatever, but that's it. That's all I'm going to do. And I'll change the power of the fill light as I need it. Anyway, enjoy the shoot. If you have any questions, leave them below, and have a great day.
I'm setting up the Westcott X-Drop Pro. I really like these backdrops. And I mean, it seems strange to have it when you have that white paper behind you. But I love the texture of the Westcott backdrops, that furry, if you would. I don't know what it is. It's like a bed sheet kind of material, like the fuzzy bed sheet. Anyway, so I'm setting that up first, and using the white. I did order a new one, and it arrived 2 days ago, but it's been on the back of my daughter's car for 2 days, so I wasn't able to use it today, which after the shoot was done, I was kind of happy because I really love the way the photos come out. And with these lights showing the white backdrop, I think is really beneficial because it does such a good job. Anyway, so These are straight now. I'm using pretty much even lighting on either one, the fill and the side light, just so you can have a look at straight light and see what it does. It's kind of flat. It gives a little bit more on the right side, as you can see on camera right, but it's still kind of flat lighting. There's just a slight shadow. But just the minor controls of that fill light, taking it up, taking it down. I'm going to take it down just to add a little bit more shadow on the left side of the model, camera left. And it's subtle. It's not, I'm doing everything very, very subtly. This one, I'm taking the main light up a little bit just to give more light on that side, just to give it dimension. And like I said before, this flat lighting, I was watching a YouTube video. Actually, I saw the thumbnail and I was just like shocked because they showed this completely lit model with totally flat lighting from the sun and said, this is a good photo. And then they showed, shadows on the model's face from the light coming from the side, which gave dimension, looked fantastic. And they said that was bad lighting. I'm just kind of confused. But anyway, you can see the other thing with this kind of lighting is, man, the model can move anywhere and you don't have to move the lights because they're big. So the main light, the one you can see there, is a 40 or 42 inch umbrella with a diffuser over it. Maybe it's a 50. I'm sorry, it's like a 52 inch umbrella with a diffuser over it. And the main light's a 65 inch umbrella with a diffuser over it. That's it. The yellowish orangish color is just coming from the modeling light inside of it. It doesn't affect your photos whatsoever. That girl here is a friend that the model that purchased the shoot came in with. So she's like, oh, can you do some shots? I'm like, no, not a problem at all. And she was fun to shoot. Very pretty girl. She wasn't prepared. She doesn't have makeup on or anything, but she just threw the clothes on that the other model brought, and she had fun. Anyway, getting back to the shoot. So these minor adjustments that you make, and even if you move the main light, move it closer, point it down more, you can shape the face so easily. And you can see that shadowing, I'm probably at 1/64th on the main light on that one. And it's just so nice. And the thing is, with a 50-inch umbrella on that right side, I can shut that main light completely off, get a totally different look, but still have not harsh shadows. They still wrap around because of the size of the umbrella. And of course, we have the power as well. But you can do this with speed lights. Honestly, you're just going to be obviously opened up to a wider aperture or a higher ISO, but it's going to do the same thing. It's just so much better with more power because you have the better depth of field. Like this, I'm shooting, I pointed it down more so I can get more shadowing. I like the shadowing, underneath the jawline because we wanted to show off our jawline a little bit better and everything else. But it works. So, and again, the latitude you have because of the light, like you'll see these models moving around a little later in the shoot all over the place, and the light is good that's the really exciting part about this. It just doesn't matter where they go. That's an 8-foot backdrop. They can go edge to edge and they're still going to have great light. So this lighting setup is really easy. It's hard to screw up. Like once you get your shutter speed, aperture, and ISO set, you can still adjust the lights up, down. You're going to stay about the same. It's just going to give you different effects. And it's so hard to screw up. Like just two lights like this, I'm really going to say you can't screw up. And if you do happen to screw up with this two light setup, please send me a note and we'll fix it. It's not a problem. I'll be glad to help. Anyway, now you see in the top left corner, you'll see it going a little dimmer, darker, if you would, because that main light is pushing more power now than the fill light. And here I'm just putting a little bit of an angle. It's going to be a totally different look. But you can see the full coverage with that light. It just doesn't matter which way they turn. But you can see where it's coming from the shadow on the backdrop. Anyway, so that top corner, like I can put a reflector in that one of the whiteboards or the V-flats, if you would, and it would fill that or soften the darkness over there. But I didn't mind it. I didn't care enough to do that because I like to look. And there's big enough coverage that I don't have to worry about it. Anyway, the shoot was smooth, easy. If you want to try this, literally, you don't have to be exact. You don't have to be measure. Like I see these people measuring with strings and okay. So in the old days, we had to do that because we had film and, unless we were shooting a Polaroid first, we had to be exact. Today, these are digital cameras. I mean, a string to measure this distance, and I just move the light and look at the back of the camera. If it looks good, you're in good shape. Hey, not to be a dick, but play, have fun. Don't worry about ratios and light meters and a good place to start, honestly. Set your camera to its base ISO. Set it 5.6 or f8 or whatever for whatever flash you're using. Obviously, if you're using speed lights in this size umbrella, you're going to be at 2.8. You can even go down to 1.4 with that because these are pretty big umbrellas with diffusers over them. So you just have to play with it. But set it at your base ISO. Set your aperture and your shutter speed. Always set your shutter speed at your max for the camera. If your camera's rated at 2/50th of a second for shutter speed, use it because it'll help. Anyway, I hope this helped. I hope you enjoyed the shoot. And if you have any questions, leave them below.